Hello, it's Lynn from Lynn's Inspirational Corner with your motivational tea. Tonight, I want to talk to you, or this evening, today, whenever you are watching the video, I want to talk to you about the eclipse. Now, remember my last video, I talked about all the things you could do to prepare for the eclipse. I gave you a lot of different tips. I wanted to tell you all about my experience with the eclipse, and I wanted to hear about yours. Did you see it? How did it go? A lot of different people in the spiritual community, some were saying, don't go out during the eclipse because your energy is going to be harnessed. Some people were saying, go out because the government doesn't want to. They're telling you don't look up directly at it, but the government, trying to keep you. So it was all kinds of things going on about whether you should or should not actually participate in going out and seeing the eclipse. I had to come on here. It's taken me a couple of days to get myself together to tell you about what happened, what my experience was with the eclipse. And I'm telling you, it was one of the wildest things I have ever experienced in my life, for real. Like, seriously. So where I live, the peak of the eclipse was supposed to be at 3:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I usually pick my kids up from school around 2:45, 2:50, right? So I remember 2017 eclipse. I missed actually seeing it, but I was out there in the energy and it was nothing to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was fine. Missed it, walked to the car, drove, found something else to do. Like, I wasn't affected at all. I'm telling you. However, this time, when I was headed to pick my kids up from school, right? I was headed to pick them up from school, and it started getting darker. It never got pitch black here, because it was like partial, not full total. But it started getting darker. And so the closer their school is, maybe about 7 or 8 minutes from my job. So it started getting darker, and a little darker. Well, as it got darker, I started feeling strange. Didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, well, did I eat something wrong today? What did I do? Couldn't figure it out. But I got to their school. When I got to their school, I'm telling you right now, I was full-blown woozy. I was full-blown in the parking lot. It was getting even darker, woozy, texting them saying, y'all come on to the car, because something ain't right. You know what I mean? Something ain't right. I don't feel good. I don't know what's going on. And I did not connect it to the eclipse yet. I didn't connect it to the eclipse. I just figured, I don't know, maybe I ate something wrong. I didn't know. So as the time kept going on, one of my sons came to the car, and I was waiting on the other one. While I was waiting on the other one, I'm telling y'all, look, I had to freaking take water. I had a bottle of water in the car and just start pouring it on myself, just pouring it, just to keep myself, because I felt like just woozy, almost like I was going to pass out, but not quite, but just woozy. So I rolled my window. So I did the water situation. My son was fanning me. I rolled the window down thinking, okay, maybe I need to get some fresh air. Rolled that window down, y'all. I felt worse. I said, what the heck is going on here? I rolled that window up so quick, told my son, you gotta text your brother, tell him to hurry up because this ain't feeling good. Something is not right. Okay? And so my son was just fanning me, and I was, doing the water, putting the water on me, just, taking it, putting my hands, and then just putting it on me. Finally, my son came out. It was darker. My parents live about 2 minutes from my children's school, right? So I said if I could just get to their house, because I knew I couldn't drive home, which wasn't far, maybe like 10 minutes away, but I wasn't confident in my energy level. And another thing I forgot to tell y'all, my eyes felt like they had pressure, but it was like pressure from the inside. So I wasn't sure about my eyes and the wooziness. And then I said to my son, because when I had rolled that window down and it became, I felt even more woozy and it was dark out there. I was like, well, I wonder if it's the darkness. And then I said to my son, I said, I wonder if this is energy from the eclipse. Because see, as much as I had read and heard about the eclipse and heard people talking about the eclipse, I never heard anyone speaking about the energy of the eclipse affecting people this way. Never heard of it. So I'm just trying to put this thing together myself. So I looked at my son and I said, maybe this is the eclipse energy. And he was like, you think so, Mom? I said, it might be. I don't know. He kind of chuckled at me, but my kids also know that I have, my spiritual gifts are one of my spiritual gifts is that I am highly, highly, highly in tune to nature, highly sensitive to things. And I'll tell you more about that probably in another video. But let me just say, they already know that. Like one of my sons was like, well, Ma, you already know you're paranormal. And I was like, yeah, but this is crazy. Get to my son finally gets to the car, drive 2 minutes to my parents' house. I'm glad they were not home, but we know how to get in the house because that's my parents. So they were home. We went on in the house. I went on in the family room, sat down on the couch, still was like, but at this point, I'm like this. No joke. I'm just like this. Out of it. I told my son, I said, close the blinds. Just close the blinds. I couldn't even deal with it. I said, just close them. And I laid down. Not all the way flat, but, laid on the arm of the love seat. He closed the blinds. I was doing like this to just kind of like cover my eyes. It's like I said, it was pressure. And it was just, I can't even really explain it still to this day. I'm doing the best that I can. So he closed the blinds, and I just sat there. I had my head like this, and I just sat there, hand over here. I had a water bottle beside me, because I had got a water bottle. I kept that water bottle I had in my hand from the car, kept it, came inside, put that on the table beside me. And maybe about 2 minutes later or so, I got up. I went to the kitchen sink because what I was going to do was pour some water on some paper towels, in the kitchen. Y'all, I turned the water on and boom, like that. I felt regular. It was the wildest thing. I felt regular. I said, y'all, I feel back normal. It's gone. It's gone. Guess what? At that very minute, my oldest son was pinging in the family group chat because I have 4 sons and me and my sons have a chat. Oldest son, as soon as I said, y'all, I feel better. It's gone. Oldest son pings in the chat. He said the eclipse is peaking. It's at its peak right now. It was 3:20. Right at the peak is when I began to feel normal again. Y'all, let me tell you something. I never experienced anything like that in my life. Didn't even know it was possible. something about the energies. It was the energies that were up there that were heading to meet, cross, cover. My whole body felt it. My whole body felt that thing. So when it was at its peak and on, I didn't feel that as intensely. But that's what happened to me. Did anything like that happen to anybody out there? I still have not met anybody. I still have not spoken to anybody personally that had that same kind of reaction or experience to the eclipse. But we all have our own personal gifts. You know what I'm saying? What I did do was, when I felt better like that, like as soon as I turned that water on and it went, I went and sat down and looked at my phone and looked up eclipse, symptoms on the body and all that. All those things I experienced have happened to people before. It's just never happened to me. But, as I've told a couple of my friends, as of late, my spiritual gifts seem to be more and more and more heightened, right? And just only one of my spiritual gifts. I have several. That particular one about nature and being in tune, because the week before, I'll share this with you too. The week before, I was in a meeting in a particular room at work. I got to the room before a lot of other people got there. This lady was walking across the floor. And I said, what the hell is this floor shaking? This is concrete floor. In schools, how the floors are concrete, right? But the floor I felt the floor moving. So she walked across. It was her room, She walked across and went to the windows and walked back, went to her desk. And whole time, I'm feeling the floor move as she's walking. Now, I'm not all woozy like this, but I'm saying, how you can feel, with maybe a different type of flooring you can feel when people walk. It was that kind of feeling. Not nothing wild and bizarre, but just felt like she was on the day. Did not feel like she was walking on concrete. Somebody else came in. Floor was doing that again as they were walking, moving as they were walking, but it was concrete. Y'all? Concrete, I'm trying to tell you. So I'm writing, and I look up and I say, does this floor normally move like that when people walk? They said, what? The floor isn't moving. What are you talking about? I said, no, when so-and-so just walked to the window, I felt her walking. Then when so-and-so came in, I felt them walking too. I felt the floor moving while they were walking. I even looked over at her desk because I thought, maybe this is an earthquake. This is before I even said anything. I was saying to myself, maybe this is an earthquake that's going on. Let me glance at what I was writing. Let me glance over, look at her desk and see if anything else is moving. Nothing was moving. Then they tell me the floor is not. Girl, what you talking about? The floor isn't moving. There's one lady that works with me that knows. We've had conversations over the past couple of years. She knows about me, I'll say, and all of who I am. And she looked at me. She said, of course they're not going to feel the floor moving. And you know why you're feeling the floor move. I was like, okay. Because, I don't know if you all can relate to this. Especially my spiritual folks. When you have gifts, sometimes the gifts, for real, they be tripping you out. I know I feel like that. Like, what? So she said that. I was like, yeah, I do. But for real, I'm like, I do. I know why I felt the floor moving. I don't know if you all can relate to that. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to the fact that you have these gifts and sometimes the gifts themselves blow your mind, right? So yeah, that happened that's what happened last week. Anyway, so then we had the situation with the eclipse. Let's get back to the eclipse. I didn't get off track, but had the situation with the eclipse. Went ahead on, came home, talked to one of my sons about what had happened, because he wasn't with me. This one particular son, he wasn't with me, but he was in the chat. He was the one talking about, you paranormal, Mom, And when I came home, I felt drained, right? Not woozy and all that weird, strange feeling, but I felt like just completely drained. I heard other people, though, felt like energetic. Like my oldest son was like, he felt like he could run several miles. And I'm like, what? That's what he was saying in the chat. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, I sat on that chair and I was like this. But not sleep, but just almost like in another. And I know this probably sounds wild to y'all. I know it does. But I just wanted to tell y'all that to see if anybody else had any wild, bizarre reaction to the eclipse. So my son told me, he was like, Mom, let me tell you, you got to stay in that state tonight. You can't movies, none of that, because I keep meditation. Even when I'm gone, I keep meditation sounds, binaural beats, 432 hertz. I keep that on my TV and I play it loud throughout my home while I'm gone, just to keep the energy, up. And so he said, Mom, you just got to keep what you got playing for the rest of the night. You got to chill. I know you were supposed to go some places. Mom, you don't need to go nowhere. You need to take all of this in. Take all of it in. And that's what I did. I stayed home. I kept my meditations, beats on my 432. I'm not sure if that was 432 that day, but anyway, beats for positive energy in the home. Because I always open my home like that. I don't know if you all do or not. I'll do another video on that, how I open my home and start my day, to pull in the positive energy for myself. But that's what I did. And I wound up doing a meditation, an eclipse meditation with Moon Omens. I don't know if you've heard about them, but moonomens.com. Check them out. Moon Omens, check them out here on YouTube. Did a wonderful meditation with them at 9:45 and just fully released and meditated. It was apps. The evening, once I was able to sit after the meditation, and I was able to sit and really soak in everything that had happened that day based on that eclipse. It was a beautiful thing. I can say now that it was a beautiful thing. It was scary initially because I didn't know what was going on, but it was a beautiful thing. It was. So I just want to hear from you all. What was your experience? Were you one of those people who went out and saw it, with the special glasses? Did you stay in the house? What were your beliefs? What was your experience? And did you experience the one in 2017? But more so than 2017. We don't need to talk about that. I want to know how you experienced this one here, the one in 2024. So let me know. I know that was an interesting story. I took you on a ride. Trust me. I was saying to myself, what in the world is going on? But anyway, thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments your experience with the eclipse and how things went for you. All right? This is Lynn. If you want to get in contact with me, you can email me at lynnsinspirationalcorner@gmail.com or leave me a comment down below. All right. Thanks. See you soon.